Okay, so what I thought we'd do is just have a bit of a walk around the garden, have a look at some of the stuff that's been a success, some of the stuff that hasn't, some of the jobs that I need to do, some things I need to get on with really or solve. So we're starting here, and I'll just show you these. These are my tomato plants that I've potted on and grown on here, just to try and get them a bit ahead of the game really, so that they'll be fruiting quicker. There'll be bigger plants when they go in greenhouse. So it's still a little bit cold on the night for them. Here, this bit of kit is my heated propagator. So that's where I start off all the seeds. It's got a heating element that runs underneath the bottom of it, and you plug it in and it puts a gentle heat underneath them and they germinate really quick. I've got some of my house plants there, including that's a Sarracenia, which is a carnivorous plant that I grew from seed, and that's also a carnivorous plant, and Nepenthes, which I rescued from a garden centre there, and they trapped the insects in those little pods there. So we'll go out. So that's my table and chairs that I've just painted. So we're trying to make this bit a bit of a flower garden, because you see it from the doors. So the tulips are just coming to an end now by the looks of it. They're just going a bit past. Then the other stuff should be coming along. Things starting to grow there, the other flowers that are coming. I've had some problems over winter in that, because it's been so wet, some of these grasses have died completely, I think. Some of these steeper, tenuous they've gone completely, so I have got some spares which I'm going to replace. And you can just see there the flower heads on the alliums coming, which should take over from the tulips. So I've got my storage area just down there. So I've tried to get a border down the side there which matches up this square in the middle as well. What I've tried to do then is divide the area where the vegetables are by these apple trees. I'm in the process of training those across there. There's a bit of espalier apples as a bit of a fence to divide the two areas up. So we'll go down the steps. You can see I've got lots of pots here. Appreciate the shadow there. Lots of pots that need sorting out. And still they've got some dead plants in them, some things that need replacing. Well, there's a dandelion flower there, that's bad. I'm going to have to get rid of that. That wants taking out all that pot and redoing. That's one of my jobs for the next couple of days for the weekend. And then we'll go up into my vegetable area. So that's the bed I was working on in the last video with the spinach there. There's some broccoli still left there. This is my pea and bean bed this year. So these are my peas. This is a short pea called Dwarf Early Pedigree. So that one just needs some sticks to support it. I've got some lettuce in between there. These other ones are my taller peas. So they might go up to 6 foot. So hence I've got these big frames there with the netting over, so they should hopefully climb up. And I've got some winter beans that have been in all winter, which are just coming into fruit. And then they'll come out, and I've got some more peas to put in there. This is the onion bed there. So I've got garlic there. And there's some onions I set off earlier in autumn actually. I sowed them in autumn and then planted them out there. And then if you can see down here, these are all my onion seedlings. I've grown those from seed this year. A French type called Walla Walla it's called, which is interesting. And then if we look at the other bed, this is my salad bed at the minute. So we've got different types of lettuce in there. And this is a rocket that's just coming to an end, it's starting to flower. Some more beetroot. That there is fleece, which I've been rolling out earlier in the spring over the top. And it just protects it from a bit of cold. Not that it do any damage to it, just makes them grow quicker and better. And that's why these are much further on than when you look at those ones that have not been under the fleece. So there's my shed recently painted, and then this is my other storage area, so where I store my plants that I'm growing on there, and my apple grafts, this year's apple grafts, if you can see that. which have all taken by the looks of it, apart from this one on the end, Hunt House, which might just be late. Got my potatoes in the bags, they need earthing up. My water bucket from the greenhouse, which is essential, and my 2 compost bins that work really well there. You can see there, I think, some steepers there, which are going to replace those ones that have died off over the winter. So I've got a rose up over the arch, which I planted last winter, so that hopefully is going to get over the top. We've got some flower buds on it, if we can find them. In here. Oh, here we go. There we go, sorry. There's one there. So there's quite a few of those. I've got a few green fly problems actually with that. There's my peach tree at the back if we step into the greenhouse. It's a peach called Red Haven, which is we're bred in Michigan in America. I don't know if it's the best tasting peach, but it's doing quite well here. You can see some little peaches hopefully there that have set. And then I've got my seedlings that I'm growing on. Got some spare tomatoes in case something happens to those other ones. I'm running out of space at the minute though, this always happens. Here, if you can see these are some melons. So my aim this year is to grow a melon. I've grown a watermelon before once, but to grow some sweet melons, some musk melons. This one's called Hero of Orkinge, which took some getting hold of the seed. So that's the plan this year. That's the challenge. Always need a challenge. If we go out around the back, I've got my little pond there, which has got the duckweed in, which I need to solve. Which Tom and Jack have given me some advice on. I've got blueberry, which I recently potted up. That's a lemon tree there. It's got, I think we've got about 6 lemons on it, not quite ready yet. And then that's a lemon I grew from a pip almost 20 years ago. I don't know if it'll ever flower or not, but hopefully it will. But this area really is a bit of a problem really, because we've got this old bench I'm sort of out of love with really. And we've got this view, you see, of the field there. But if I sit on the bench, I'll sit on the bench here, you can't see him. You just see the fence. To be fair, I've got started growing some apples up along there, if you can see them. This one's called Emneth Early, that one that's flowering. I'm going to grow those as, they're called cordons, up those canes at an angle. Should be able to keep them very small, but back to the problem is I'm sat on the bench and I can only see the fence. The view's up there. So I need to come up with a solution to that, which may be to make a bench that you can sit on about that high, and you can see the view. So I think that's the next problem to solve. If we go this way, that's a bench I made out of some old pallets that I really like, and actually it's quite comfy. At the back here, these are my currants. So we've got a jostaberry on the far left there, and then a black currant and a red currant, which crop really well actually, and are worth having to make jam and things like that out of. And then this is my 2 gooseberries. So I've got a red one, that's Hinamaki red. This one is Hinamaki green. I wanted gooseberries, but I didn't want them to take up the big space that they do as a bush, so I've trained them what they call a fan against the fence there. And I've also got a black currant, which I use for making jam and some cordial out of actually as well, so I've trained that as a bit of a fan as well up there. So what I'm trying to do is get as much produce as possible out of it, but there's always things to do and always problems, always the next job. And the next job is solving this patio area around there really, in that it's a good space, but I need to do something where I can see out over the fence. And also I'm going to try and plant some flowers, some annual flowers down the back there to brighten it up a bit. I think once the apple trees start growing they'll be fine. So that's the next project.